What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Big Dog Brett. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share. Sorry about that. Had to make an adjustment. So, for those of you who don't know, I don't know how you missed it. What is this? What is this? Get that Ricky Bobby off me. Man. Hey, I love everybody. Well, almost everybody. Well, I love some people. I love a few people. I love a few people. Um, guys, you are about to see the mass exodus of the Colorado fan base. Um, and I want you guys to know how I feel about it. I'm gonna see you guys off out of here. You ready?
What's up, bro? You believe now? What's up, bro? You believe now?
You believe now?
What's up, bro? You believe now?
You believe now?
Hold on.
I'm
What's up,
coming.
bro? You believe now? Hold on. You believe that?
Bring my ladies with me. And it's Louis. The Cinderella story is over, man.
It's over.
They're fighting for clicks. We're fighting for wins.
Fighting for wins.
This game ain't gonna be played in Hollywood. It's gonna be played on grass. Whittington. Into the end zone. Dutch touchdown.
Okay. I'm coming.
Not to compete.
Not to compete. Well, what do we have here? Why, sir, I do declare your football coaching skills as an abomination. It is a devastation of grand reckoning, sir. And I do declare thou forever shalt be named as a loser. Now, for all you, yeah, I ain't doing too much going on to be doing cooking videos in the morning, man. I get, but if you want to, me and you do a live stream, Celine, I'll cook you breakfast, buddy. Oh, so before we get too much further into it, let's go ahead and get a roll call. Good morning, welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys so much for being here and watching my silliness. I appreciate you guys being here with me. Now, Jay Sykes, the world-renowned, undisputed, undefeated, heavyweight Gilligan fighter of the world, Jay Shipes. Thank you for being here, sir. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for your dedication to the cause. The Truth says, what's up, Brett? Just when you thought, what the deep Miami? Colorado says, hold my beer. Texas Rocks, welcome back. Elon Broke, how you doing this morning? Good morning, Vic2 Productions, the original charter member, Slav Olympian MVP. Thanks for being here, sir. Zephyros, hello to all you happy people. And also happy, hello to those people who aren't so happy, Colorado fans. I'm talking to you. Oh, Celine Driver, we already mentioned you this morning. Good morning, sir. Stingray, how you doing? Gil Lawson says, hey, Brett from Pantamat Hill. I don't think that's how you say that. I don't know. Overlooking Patty City. How you doing? Deion Sanders is the clown show. Facts. Charles Doe, how you doing? Gil Lawson, 225 girl. What it is, what it gonna be like. Good morning, Orange. Love that name. Love that name. Thomas T-Bones. Yes, our prediction for the Georgia games. Big W's all over the place. We're gonna do that here in just a minute. But first and foremost, we have to talk about Colorado football and the state of Colorado football, where Colorado football is going. If you didn't already know, some of us earlier in the season waded through. By the way, that's the third L, 3 L's for the Buffaloes. You spell Buffalo at this point in the season with at least 3 L's. So yeah, there's that. you get a win. You get a 3-point win over TCU. You beat a terrible Nebraska. You struggle with Colorado State. Took giant L's to both Oregon and USC. Yes, that was a giant L because USC has no defense. You get a scrub, barely win over Arizona State, and of course lose in double overtime to Stanford. Not a good football team. Lots of respect for Shadar Sanders' talent. Zero respect for his personality. Don't like the guy. Pretty much the same thing for Deion Sanders. Ton of respect for his talent. Zero respect for his coaching ability. And zero respect for his personality. If you don't like it, hey, you don't have to hang around. Feel free to hit the door. It didn't stop you from coming in. Won't stop you from leaving. So the fact is that I'm not going to turn around and change how I feel about that whole program just because they won a few games. And all the Colorado fans jumping out there saying, yeah, they're not going bowling. You're right about that. I'm going to tell you like this. You can't get out there and run your mouth and act like a dead blasted fool and expect everybody to just be like, good job, buddy. No, it doesn't work that way. This is college football. It's a lot of work involved, a lot of coaching involved. It has to put in a lot of work, hours, time, tape. And Deion, you may have been a great player, but you're a terrible coach. Terrible coach. Just because you coach in middle school doesn't mean you can coach in college. Sorry. Charles Dole, you are correct. He is exactly the same. Has not changed. For those of you that have stuck around the channel and you understand that I'm not going to what's the word I'm looking for? Got out of the shower, man, and I didn't tighten up the old beard here. Sorry about that. For those of you that's been around for a while, you know that I'm gonna call it like it is. You can like it, you can lump it. I don't care. It is what it is, and more often than not, I get it right. Not because I'm smarter than anybody else. It's just I really focus on paying attention to all of the factors involved. It's just that. Aw, does that mean no more game day at Boulder? How did all them celebrities on the sideline do? Did that help you guys at all? Hey, and for all you Colorado fans out there that's jumping up and down and saying, we've got 4 wins and that's 3 more than last. You're still losing. You're still losing. That's like drowning, but saying we did it in the shallow end of the pool. That's what that is. That's what that is. Absolutely embarrassment to every reputable football team around. We won it all. You got all the smoke, didn't you? How in the hell are you going to let Stanford not only come back from a shutout in the first half to hold you to only, was it 7 points in the second half, and then run the score up and match you in the second half? They scored 0 in the first half and outscored you in the second half. That is an embarrassment. They're talking about Stanford. We're not talking about an SEC school. We're not talking one of the Power 5 elites in the top 25. This is Stanford. Stanford's record was it 2-4? It was 2-3. It was 2-3 with losses to Sacramento State. My God, I didn't know Sacramento State had a football team. I really didn't. Lots of L's coming your way, sir. Hope you like them. Hope you like them. Start playing Tetris. You're gonna have all them L shapes. Oh, get you a strap so you can tote them because you're gonna have plenty of them. Woo, too funny for me. What's up, Tiger Raven? All right, guys, let's I won't say bury the hatchet because that loss is gonna stink for a while. Let's get into it real quick, guys. So we got the Georgia Vanderbilt game coming up at noon. If I need to tell you who's gonna win that game, you probably shouldn't watch college football. But you could get tickets for that game for $49. From my last understanding, they sold like 35,000 tickets to that game, and like 30,000 of them went to Georgia fans or something like that. So we're going to be playing Vanderbilt, but Vanderbilt is going to be playing at home in a hostile environment. Harvard 4-0. Yeah, 1-4. That's right, 1-4. Good Lord. Good Lord, Harvard 4-0. Yeah. So yeah, Georgia's going to win this game. 70 billion to 3. I don't think Vanderbilt has scored a touchdown in Georgia in the past 4 or 5 years. Not going to be good for Vanderbilt. Georgia will have this game blown out by the second half, probably halfway through the third. You'll see Georgia start trading out quarterbacks. Carson Beck As soon as Georgia runs up the score to 40-plus points and Carson Beck's over 300 yards, you're going to pull him out. So you have to have both of those. So if Carson Beck's not over 300, he's going to stay in. And if we're under 40 points and he has over 300, he's going to stay in. As soon as we get over 40 and over 300, they're going to pull him out. Same thing with Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers will go for 100-plus, 150 yards. They'll pull him out. Georgia's getting healthier as we're moving along. Offense is going to be better as we go. So looking for big things from Georgia. They want to capitalize on that statement win from Kentucky with a big win today. They're going to be looking to try and shut Vanderbilt out. Vanderbilt may get 3 or 7 points. Not going to be a big game. Same thing's going to happen to Michigan, Indiana. Michigan's going to absolutely dominate Indiana. They're playing at Michigan. Michigan's going to be out for blood. They're trying to get statement wins against a bunch of nobodies they play. Then you got the number. This is kind of interesting because you've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 all playing in noon games. And what would you say if 3 years ago I would have told you that the number 1, the number 2, the number 3, and the number 4 teams in the country are going to be playing at noon, and Alabama's going to be playing at noon, but Alabama's none of those teams? You would say, what in the unfortunately, Georgia's going to be having to watch the Vanderbilt game on CBS, so you know who we got to listen to. Ohio State's playing Purdue. You can watch that on Peacock. It's free. Not a whole lot interested in there. I think that we might see a little more in this game than what we've seen before. Ohio State should absolutely blow this team out, but Ohio State's offense just really hasn't looked impressive the past couple of weeks. 17 against Notre Dame, 37 against Maryland. We're used to seeing this team wanting to put up, 55, 60 points a game, and they're just not there. Purdue, not a good team. Not a good team. Ohio State should blow these guys out. Shouldn't be a problem. What's up, Crimson Brave? Hope you're doing well, sir. So, the top 3 should win easily here. Then you've got Florida State at Syracuse. This game may be a little closer than what people want to believe it could be. I'm still trying to figure out Florida State. I don't know if Florida State is legit or not. I really don't. The 2 overtimes to beat Clemson. Clemson's not looking that great. An edge win over Boston College. Syracuse lost to Clemson huge. Lost to UNC huge. I don't know, man. This is so weird. They're playing at Doak Stadium, the old Okie Doke Stadium. Florida State should win this game big, but it wouldn't surprise me if Syracuse keeps it close for at least until half. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if Gary Danielson's calling the game, but I hope not, Cliff. I really hope not. Celine Driver says he'll be doing a live stream reaction to the Harvard game. Stop on by, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Yeah, you guys go check out Celine Driver. Great content over there. I like the old guy. Hate Danielson. I wish he'd lose his voice permanently. He's not the most loving old guy, though. He loses his job. He said everything but catch syphilis. All right. So, that's pretty much it for the new games. That's all we're going to see. You got Utah kicking off against California. I was big on Utah at the beginning of the season. I really thought these guys would make a run for it. They're a very physical football team. They still have an elite defense. They lost to Oregon State, so that knocked them down quite a bit. I still think they have an elite defense. I'm really interested in seeing Utah play USC. I think it's going to be a great game. But that's not for a few weeks yet. So we'll come back to that later down the road. Okay, Penn State, Massachusetts. Penn State by 30. And then the 3:30 game. The 2 games I'm really going to want to watch at 3:30. And there's a boatload of 3:30 games today, guys. I mean, there's tons. Between 3 o'clock and 3:30, I think there's something like 10 or 15 games on. If you've got one of those weird teams that you like to watch, like Central Michigan, you're going to have to get ESPN Plus. But you're going to have the Tennessee Texas A&M game and Washington at Oregon. I'm going to get into Washington, Oregon here real quick. I'm picking Oregon here, guys. I have seen enough out of Bo Nix to go, man, Bo Nix is incredible. And yes, I get Michael Penix Jr. is absolutely incredible. But Bo Nix has a higher completion percentage, and I feel like Oregon has a better defense. I mean, I really feel like Oregon has a much better defense than Washington. Washington doesn't have a bad defense, but they don't have a great defense. They barely got a win over Arizona. And that makes me question some things. There's only been 2 games this season where anybody has – there's only been 1 game this season that anybody has scored more than 10 points against Oregon, and that was Texas Tech. That was early in the season. They held Stanford to 6. They held Colorado to 6. That's funny to me. Hawaii to 10. I think that this is going to be an offense unlike anybody that Washington has played so far, and I think they're going to struggle. These teams on paper are very, very similar. I don't think Michael Penix Jr. is going to get all the yards that he's used to getting, and I think that's going to stagnate Washington's offense. They're not going to be able to run the ball. Oregon's run defense is as good as Georgia's, yards per game wise. So keep that in mind. If you think Georgia has a good run game defense, Oregon's is right there with it. Oregon wins outright, I think. Yeah, tighten up, Charles. Oh, yeah. Good morning, sir. How you doing? Oregon should have won last year's game versus Washington. Yep. They should have won that game last year. And I think there's going to be some of that. This really is, in my opinion, an early season playoff game. I mean, this is going to be a great game to watch. I'm going to be watching this game, but I'm also going to be watching the Texas A&M Tennessee game. That game's going to be good. I know a lot of people are picking Tennessee, and they're saying, Tennessee's a great football team. And there's a lot of people picking Texas A&M saying, Texas A&M a great football team. Man, Texas A&M lost like 14 straight on the road, and Tennessee has won like 14 or 15 straight at Neyland Stadium. The part that I think is going to be the difference maker here is, can Tennessee run the ball against Texas A&M? And if they can't, can Joe Milton pick up the slack? Texas A&M, after having played Auburn, Arkansas, Alabama, and Miami's not great, but they're not a scrub team. They're only allowing 84 yards a game, guys. Tennessee's only allowing 115, but here's the thing. Texas A&M is only averaging 140 yards a game rushing, while Tennessee is nearly perfectly divided even between their pass and run game, 235 a game to 231 a game. If they can only get 80 yards or so, 85 yards, or maybe even 100 yards in rushing, the rest of that's got to come from their offense. And I don't know if they have the receivers to do it. I don't know if they have the receivers to do it. Their number one receiver on the season is Mr. White, and he's only got 26 receptions for 276 yards. At 5 games in, that's not a lot, guys. It's not a lot. So, possible Pac-12 title game preview. Yep, could be. What's up, Texas Rocks? Doug Caswell. I'm gonna go with Caswell. Can Milton throw accurate slants, crossing route? I don't know. That's going to be a fun game to watch. It would not surprise me either way. I'm going to pick Tennessee for the win. Anybody can win that game. And here's the crazy thing. I think this game could even be a blowout. Like, there's games you want to say, Tennessee by 3, Tennessee by 7. I could see one or two of these teams, because they've had weird matchups here. Like, losing to Florida is just head scratching. And Texas A&M really should have beat Alabama, but they lost to Miami. I was thinking, oh God, it could be a blowout. And if I'm gonna pick a blowout, I'm gonna pick Tennessee for the blowout. But I think Tennessee will win by about 10. That's just my feeling on that. Then you got South Kakalaki versus Florida. South Kakalaki, yeah. So I'm a fan of Spencer Rattler as far as his talent. Don't necessarily like him as a person, but I think he's got all the tools he needs to beat Florida. South Carolina is a pass-happy team. They're averaging 300 yards in passing a game and 87 on the ground. Florida's only allowing 120 on the ground. So you can look for this game to be decided in the air. I know it's going to make some people go, what? I'm going to pick South Carolina. I think South Carolina wins this game by 3. BYU or TCU? I haven't even got to that game, have I? Where's it at? That game is over somewhere. BYU TCU. What time is that game? Oh, here it is. Man, I think we're all a little bit kind of fooled into thinking TCU was better than they were. I think old Brigham Young not going to be able to stop TCU. I know TCU lost to West Virginia. They lost to Iowa State, but I think TCU's got the tools that they need to beat BYU. So I'm taking TCU. Cool Breeze, what's going on, brother? Nobody cares what happens in South Carolina. Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Louisville versus Pittsburgh. That's so weird to see Louisville ranked 14th and Pittsburgh unranked. But Pittsburgh is absolutely terrible this year. Louisville is kind of a quiet front runner right now. The 3-0 in conference, undefeated, one of the few undefeated teams still in the season. And they are absolutely shutting the run down as well. I don't think Pitt's going to be able to do anything for them. I think the Cardinals will run away with that game. Oh, let's see what else we got. Washington State, Arizona State. Kind of interested to see what happens here. Strictly because Arizona State coming off of that win, that loss last week where they really hung in there with USC, and Washington lost to UCLA in kind of a close one. This game, in my opinion, I won't say evenly matched, but this team only lost to Washington by a touchdown. Arizona Wildcats is a pretty good football team. I'm going to take Arizona in this game. I just don't trust. I don't trust the Washington State Cougars just yet. If they walk away with a convincing win here, I'll be like, all right, Washington State's pretty good or better than I thought. I'm still going to think that Arizona's a good football team. They just got to put some stuff together. Bacon Bits coming to Texapalooza for a desperate L. Did I skip? I did. I skipped over Bacon Bits. Yeah, this is going to be a drubbing. Everybody from Georgia still loves Sam Pittman. Everybody at Arkansas loves Sam Pittman, but he's got to do something here. Arkansas has lost the last 4 games straight. They lost to BYU by a touchdown. They lost to LSU by 3 points. They lost to Texas A&M by 12, but they only lost to Ole Miss by 7. Alabama wins over Texas A&M by 6. That's their last game, not their best performance. They did get it done, but however, I would not be surprised if this game is a little closer than what people think. I'm going to take Alabama, but only by 7. Only by 7. I don't think Bama wins big. I want to see a ranting Mad Saban. Alabama starting to turn the corner. They are, but I don't know if this is the breakout game. We'll find out later. USC Notre Dame coming on at 7:30. Guys, by this time of the night, I'm going to be getting tired. I already know it. You got Notre Dame versus UCF. Yeah. Guys, I don't know. You got a USC team that has to go to triple overtime to beat Arizona. They almost lost to Colorado. They didn't look good there for a while against Colorado. First 2 weeks of the season, their defense was awesome. Now it's trash. Notre Dame has had great defense all season, but just no offense. So this is kind of the classic matchup of a team that's all offense versus a team that's all defense. And because of that, I feel like I should pick Notre Dame. But Notre Dame's offense is so terrible. I don't know. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick Notre Dame, and here's why. Notre Dame beats the Trojans, and then the Trojans are going to lose later in the season, and somebody else is going to knock them out of playoff contention, even if they win their division. Can you imagine that? USC plays an undefeated, let's say, Oregon, right, for the championship, and USC has lost to Notre Dame, and then let's see somehow by miraculously Oregon has 2 losses, but they win their championship game. USC has 2 losses, or 1 loss and 2 losses. I don't know. I forgot where I was going with that. But basically what I was trying to say is it would be interesting that if they somehow take a second loss in the championship game, even though another team maybe have, more losses, and it still couldn't get in even though they had 1 loss. That'd be weird. Caleb is fun to watch. I do like watching him sling the ball around. The guy's right on the edge of 2,000 yards. I mean, he's at 1822. What a lot of people don't realize is that Sam Hartman, he's right there with him. Like, he's at 1,700 yards. Oh, he's not quite as accurate as Caleb Williams, but he doesn't have the same receivers to throw to either. So I think that this is a really interesting game. I'm going to pick Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame has a defense that's going to be able to slow USC down, and USC has no defense, so they're not going to slow Notre Dame down. I think Notre Dame may get 40 points in this game, and I think the Trojans may get 28-31. Now that I think about it, so I'm going to go with Notre Dame. Yeah, bad weather definitely in Notre Dame's favor. Facts. I hope it rains 3 inches. Good Lord, that's a lot of rain, dude. North Carolina versus Miami. Do we have to talk about this? Do we really? But do we? Man, listen. What if I told you that the University of Miami was only allowing 58 points a game? 58 points a game. I'm sorry, 58 yards a game. I'm just kidding. Miami's only allowing 58 yards on the ground per game, but they're allowing 210 through the air. This will probably be the best team that North Carolina has seen all season. Say what you want to about the first game of the season, but I'm just telling you, North Carolina did pretty well against South Carolina. It took 2 overtimes to beat App State. Of course, they beat Minnesota. They beat Pittsburgh. They beat Syracuse like a draw. And then you got Miami, who their defense has been pretty solid with the exception of the Texas A&M game. And then they absolutely choked it away against Georgia Tech. I think Miami's going to be pretty ticked off. I think they're going to really want this win, and I think they're going to come out swinging early. But it's going to be a fight to the finish. I really think North Carolina can win this game, but my head is telling me to pick Miami. I think there's going to be a lot of want to get back from Miami. I think this will be the best offense that Miami has seen all season, though. My head is telling me Miami, but my eyes are telling me North Carolina. I'm going to pick North Carolina in a close one. North Carolina by 3. How the heck is Air Force undefeated? What? We'll come back to that in a minute. That's insane. In third. By the way, really appreciate you guys sticking around. Sometimes I come out here and just talk to myself. It's better to have people to talk to. Kentucky versus Missouri. Guys, this is going to be a game right here. I'm telling you. I think this is going to be a barn burner. I think this is going to be fisticuffs. I think this is going to be for all the marbles. Both of these teams are going to lay it all out on the table. Both of these teams are very similarly matched. As far as talent level, in my opinion, as far as having a good offense, not an offensive scheme. Both teams have a good offense. I really think that both of these teams' defenses are practically identical. The question is which team is going to play to the weak part of the other team's offense or defense, excuse me. I think that both of these teams just took L's last week. Kentucky got absolutely embarrassed by Georgia. They thought they would do much better than they did. Missouri almost beats LSU. Should have beat LSU, but LSU puts on a performance there at the end and just comes back and wins it. I think Missouri has got the firepower through the air to beat Kentucky, because Kentucky's secondary is not the best in the world. Georgia picked them apart. So I'm going to pick Missouri. I'm going to say Missouri by a touchdown. What's up, Alex MLD? Do you like Wendy's? Do you like Wendy's? What about Imagine Dragons? SEC dog, I would normally agree with you, but if you actually pull the stats and look at them, you'll find that their defenses are pretty similar as far as what they allow. So yeah, I'm gonna pick Missouri. Pick old Missouri. Also, because if Missouri wins this game and then Georgia beats Missouri, make sure you look better. So that helps too. Oregon State versus UCLA. Man, a lot of good games today. A lot of good games. Seems like week 5 and 6 has like been the best. 6 and 7, whatever you want to call it. It's been the best games matchups overall for the whole season. So, these teams playing each other, they've basically played almost exactly the same teams. I'm gonna pick Oregon State. I think Oregon State's a good football team. I think Oregon State's gonna win this game by 10. Say 10. All right. Somebody said Air Force was undefeated. Let's pull that up. Is that true? Wow, Air Force is undefeated. Imagine that. Who would have thought the Wyoming Cowboys would be 5-1 so far as well? Their only loss being to a really good Texas team. Air Force hasn't really played anybody. I'm gonna pick Air Force just because it's Service Academy, so I'm picking Air Force. And there's that. Hope Carson distributes the ball again for 400 yards. Absolutely, UCLA defense is legit. I'll have to check on that. Covered by 14 over Howard Bison. Book it, he says. Book it. Well, look, guys. Let's see here. Just broke 6,600 subscribers. Really appreciate you guys being there. It seems like over the past couple of months here, I haven't been tracking. Haven't been tracking. When I say tracking, I mean following. I haven't really been asking for members. I haven't really put anything out there. But if you want to become a member and support the channel, there's a member button down below. Of course, you guys can always support the channel through Super Chats. Had PayPal a while back, had some issues with that, so got rid of PayPal. I do have Cash App out there. I don't have it posted up here. But if you guys want to become a member and support the channel, you can. There's 3 different tier levels. It's only like $2 a month. And pretty soon, guys, we're going to be getting into the noon game. So I really appreciate you guys being here. If you like the content, it helps when I can tell the wife, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go downstairs and spend time with the boys. It's paying some bills. So. UGA is waiting for Bama in the SEC. UGA is standing at the top of the mountain waiting on anybody. If you're one of those, why is this so dusty? Sorry, ADHD keep me in. If you're one of those teams that are out there chanting, you want Georgia. Here's what I want to show you. I know there's teams out there that they say they want Georgia, this, that, and the other. So what I'm going to do for you is this. Let's go to 2022. All right, so far, let's go to share screen. And I'm going to give you guys the 2023 season. Nope, that's the wrong one. That's not what I wanted to do. Stand by. What was it? It's hard. All right, so here is the, come on, there we go. So here's the 2023 season. Let's go ahead and make that a little bigger so you guys can see it. UT Martin. Let's see if we can zoom in a little better. 48-7, 45-3, 24-14, 49-21, 27-20, and 51-13. Now, let me take you guys back one more again. But let's go back to the 2022 season. Oh, get out of here. 49-3, 33-0, 48-7, and then right here, week 4 and 5, Georgia had some struggles. It's kind of what we thought we saw this year so far. But now, you had Georgia. People thought Georgia kind of struggled with South Carolina week 3, and then kind of struggled with Auburn week 5. And then Georgia went 51-13 over Tennessee. Well, right about the same time last year, 42-10, 55-0. Georgia turned it on the rest of the season. So I think that's what you guys are about to see here. I think you guys are about to see Georgia absolutely turn it on, turn it out, and get it rolling. So, yeah. Yeah, I live stream several times during the day on Saturdays. Wednesdays have been kind of hit or miss here lately, but I mean, I'm not trying to make light of the situation, but it's hard to get motivated to do a Wednesday live stream for Vanderbilt. It just is. So, but rest of the season we should be good to go. Doing the live streams on that, yeah. Cool Breeze says, I couldn't tell you how good Georgia is. They haven't been tested. Kentucky's a bunch of 3 stars, and I would love to see them against Oklahoma. Yeah, I'd love to see them against Oklahoma as well, or whoever else we can get to show up in the playoff. I think Georgia is still Georgia. I think Carson Beck so far has proved that he's better than Stetson Bennett. I think Georgia has made the adjustments it needs to make. Georgia's getting healthier and better as we move forward. We've had a lot of guys out for the season. Running back room's been practically depleted, but we're getting a lot of healthy guys back. So, I mean, Ladd McConkey's been back a couple of times. I think he's still dealing with an injury. So, yeah, I think Georgia's going to do really, really well from here on out. So, yeah. All right, guys, you got about 30 seconds. If you got any questions, throw them down in the chat. Sorry, Brett, I was talking to Celine, but we'd love to have a live stream to watch during the week. Yeah, well, I'll do one this Wednesday, man. It's just been had some big irons in the fire at work, and like Friday, I wanted to do a stream when I got home yesterday, but this is how my day went Friday. I got up at 4 a.m. I was on location at a customer at about 6:15. I left that location and went to another customer site, and I was there from 10 to 11, went to lunch with a customer. After that, I went to another meeting with another customer from 1 till about 3:30. And then I stopped in and touched base with another customer and picked up some stuff. By the time I got home, it was 7 o'clock. And then I had a commitment I had made to a friend of mine to make something for them that they needed this morning. And that took me until midnight. Once that was when I got to midnight, I couldn't go anymore. My body gave up. My body said, "You're done, buddy. You're going to sleep. You don't have a choice. You're 20 hours in and you're 43 years old. You're done." And I said, "Okay." So I went to bed and got up at 7 o'clock and finished what I was doing for my friend. And then they picked it up at about 8:30. Made breakfast for the family, and then took a shower, and then came out here and jumped on with you guys. So I won't say it's been nonstop, but it's been pretty close. Pretty close. Yeah, it very well could be Cool Breeze. I don't disagree with you. I think that's what the fans are expecting, and that's what the fans should expect. You should always, if you are an Alabama fan, you should always be wanting your team to play in the SEC championship game. You should always want your team to be there. They are going to they got a stretch here. They got a stretch, and just hear me out. They should win today at Arkansas. They should. They could lose to Tennessee. They could lose to LSU. They could lose to Kentucky. And we can fight and argue every day, all day long about Auburn, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's at Auburn. Weird things happen at Jordan-Hare Stadium. They just do, and it's a rivalry game. I'm just telling you, it is absolutely possible that Alabama could lose 4 games by the end of the season. It is absolutely possible. They've already lost 1 to Texas. You know, they got to clear. I mean, listen. Here's the way I look at it. Alabama's ranked number 10. Okay, Tennessee is currently ranked number 19. But Tennessee's ranked number 19. They beat Texas A&M today. It's possible that they could go up in the rankings. It's possible. Texas could go up or down. USC could go up or down. Texas should absolutely slap Utah, but it is possible they lose. It is possible that Tennessee could be a top 15 team, we'll say. Top 15 team by the time Alabama plays them. I mean, Tennessee and Alabama is not that far apart this year, guys. And it's not like they're ranked number 1 and number 2 or number 2 and number 3 where they're the elite of the elite. They're in that weird middle ground of between 10 and 15 and 10 and 20 where anybody can win those games. So we'll see what happens. He said I just gave him PTSD from the 2013 statement. Alabama is still ranked 11. They are, but I've said this in years past, even when Georgia wasn't ranked in the top, is I know Texas as well. The gap between 1, 2, and 3, and maybe say 4. But I'll say 1, 2, and 3 is there's as big of a gap between 3 and 4 through 10 as there is from 1 to 10. Like there's that big of a difference. And in my opinion, when you're looking at the teams, you can take every team 4 through 10 and say these teams are pretty equally talented. If they played each other, it'd be difficult to tell who's going to win. What's up, Trenches? But the teams 1, 2, and 3, those teams play each other, they'd be pretty evenly matched. But if you take the number 3 team and you play like a number 5 team, that number 3 team is going to wipe the floor with them most of the time. But if the number 5 team plays the number 10 team, it's a coin flip. And the same thing happens when you're in like that 10 to 20 range. All those teams there, they can kind of play each other and stay in it. So what's the probability of Georgia three-peating? From what I've seen so far, you got Ohio State and Michigan that's got to play each other. I don't know if Florida State is for real. Penn State, I mean, you got this weird thing between Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan where the better team out of those could end up not going to the playoff. That can happen. You got Washington, Oregon. One of those teams has got to lose. Then you got USC playing Washington, Oregon. I mean, it's possible a bunch of these teams have 2 losses and they're completely out. If I had to pick a team tomorrow that I think would be the most complete team to play, I can't say Michigan because Michigan, who have they played? I would put, if I had to say tomorrow, I want to see Michigan, Oklahoma play. I would put my money on Oklahoma in a heartbeat, because all of these teams that Michigan has played are essentially trash teams. So I don't know how good Michigan is. I know Oklahoma is good. They beat Texas. Texas is ranked number 3. So I mean, I could see Georgia. I could see Oklahoma. I'm a little bit leery of Ohio State because we kind of got the same thing. We'll know more of them when they play Penn State. Yeah, they beat Notre Dame, but only by 3. Notre Dame was ranked number 9. And Notre Dame, I mean, they're not dominant. You look at Penn State. I mean, you got Penn State out here. They they kind of got the same thing. Their best wins over Iowa, which is ranked number 24, which is no longer even ranked. So are they any good? I don't know. Texas, even though they've got a loss, I like their record better than I like those other three because they had a close loss to Oklahoma. Yeah, I get it, but it's one loss. They beat a ranked Kansas, which is 24, whatever. But they also beat Alabama. Okay, beat Alabama by 10 points at Alabama. That's a good football team. That's a good football team. I mean, if Alabama takes one more L and you're looking at their schedule and you're going to tell me they're going to run the gauntlet here, I'd have to question your sanity because you got to be Tennessee, you got to be LSU, and you got to beat Kentucky, and you got to beat Auburn. You got to beat those teams. Even if you win the SEC, Bama fan, and you've got 2 losses, let's say you lose to Chattanooga, that's 2 losses. You can still win your conference. Still wouldn't go. Got 2 losses. They would take a Georgia team with 1 loss over Alabama in the SEC championship game. When Alabama's got 2 losses, Georgia would go to playoffs. And you're going to tell me Washington, the Washington State Huskies, they ain't played nobody either. They play Oregon today. We'll find out more. But I'm just telling you, if I'm looking forward to the playoffs right now, I'd have to say Georgia, Texas, Oklahoma, and then whatever comes out of the mix between Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State. That's what I would pick. But Georgia, Oklahoma for sure. Texas for sure. I don't know about the rest. So yeah. I don't know about Bama. I don't think Bama could keep pace with any of those other 3 teams. I really don't. Colorado playoff. Yeah, real Bama fans will be fine. They'll be here for the wins and the losses, just like the real Georgia fans. I like UGA versus LSU in 19 SEC had a great defense and okay offense. Yeah. If Georgia loses the SEC to Bama with 2, they're not going to let the SEC get in. I know. You're crazy. And it's because of Brock Bowers being as absolutely insane as he is, Georgia's defense being as good as it is, and Carson Beck being essentially a Heisman candidate at this point, throwing for 80%, breaking school records halfway through the season. They're not going to walk away from that. And besides, Georgia would draw more money than anybody else because everybody wants to see the 3-peat. Everybody wants to see the 3-peat. That's what they want to see. That's what they will tune in for. And a lot of casual Georgia fans want to see the 3-peat as well. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, if Texas has 1 loss, I think they should let them in. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate all you guys being here. Shout out to Trenches for coming back and joining the show. Appreciate him being here. I know he's forgotten how to use YouTube. It's okay. We still love him. Alex MLD, Cool Breeze, my resident members. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. All you other guys, you can also support the channel. Let's see who we got left here. Charles Dole, let's go, Brandon. Sarah Crane. Appreciate all you guys being here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let's go watch some college football. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hit the like, subscribe, and share. We'll be seeing you guys here in just a little while. And as always, I got one more thing. Before you tune out, hold on. I got a joke for you. What kind of mouse walks on 2 feet? What kind of mouse walks on 2 feet? The answer is Mickey Mouse. Now, what kind of duck walks on 2 feet? And the answer is all of them. You guys have a great day. God bless. Go Dogs.